Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Megan and today we are discussing my April TBR specifically for the Orilium Magical Readathon. If you aren't aware, this is the magical readathon that is hosted by G from Book Roast every year. I will link their channel down below so that you can follow along with all the announcements, the challenges, the readathon, anything you might need to know about this readathon. This was originally a different readathon, but G took it upon themselves to recreate the entire readathon so that it was more fitting and entirely created from scratch. So in this world, we are all traveling to this magical academy and we have finally arrived. Last year we did the novice path, which was the actual journey to the academy, and then from there we are entering our first year as apprentices, I think is the or initiates, I think is what our first level is. So I did partake in the novice path last year. I also did the character creation. My character is a earthling with a wildling background and I'm from Carador. My roots and interests lie in the nature animal elements, and my conduit is a bow and arrow, and from there I am going to be going for the Master of Elements calling. Master of Elements, think Avatar, so I'm going to be learning all of the different elements of nature. So water, earth, fire, air, you know the deal. If you know me, this fits perfectly with my personality because I love Avatar. But within the calling, we have to take so many classes. For Master of Elements, which is part of the Order of the Crescent Guild, it is the one calling that is specific to this guild, so and people in other guilds can't go for this calling. We have to do 6 different prompts or 6 different classes and master those classes. First is pretty standard, pretty self-explanatory. For a Master of Elements, we have to do elemental studies. And this semester the prompt is, or this equinox I should say, the prompt is to read a book under 100 pages. I really struggled with this. All of my books are at least over 100 pages or more, and I scoured through what books I could read. I even checked a lot of my graphic novels and they're all over 100. However, I did find one that fits. It is the short story from the Furyborn trilogy, and that is Queen of the Blazing Throne. It is 69 pages, so it is under 100. Thank goodness. If you don't know, Furyborn tells the story of 2 queens, the Blood Queen and the Sun Queen. One has the power to save the world and one has the power to destroy it. There's angels breaking through walls, there's elemental magic, there's competitions, there's so much going on. I love this series so much. I can't believe I haven't picked up Lightbringer, the final book of the series, yet. Queen of the Blazing Throne is following specifically one character's perspective in a specific scenario, and I don't want to go into it so that I don't spoil anything because it is from Kingsbane and it is the queen, not the Sun or Blood Queen, but a separate queen's perspective on those events. So I'm looking forward to picking that one up. Next is shapeshifting, and we are learning claw formation in that class. So the prompt is to read a book with a creature with claws on the cover. This one was kind of hard to figure out, but I did end up finding one. I'm going to be picking up The Raven Boys by Mackie Stiefvater. As you can see, we have a raven with claws on the cover. This is one that I probably should have read 3 months ago. It is part of the Sisterhood challenge I'm doing with a few of my Bookstagram friends. Each of us have sent out our favorite books and we're passing them around for annotation. And I feel like I'm very, very behind, but luckily everyone else is as behind as I am. So I'm hoping to pick this one up this month so that I can finally pass it along and get the 3rd book of this circulation. I'm honestly not sure at all what this series is about, but I've heard so many positive things about it, so I'm really looking forward to picking it up. And obviously it's a favorite of one of my close friends, so I'm super excited to pick it up. Next is animal studies, and for this we have to do a quick read. This prompt I feel like can go a lot of different ways. It could be a shorter book, it could be a graphic novel, it could be just a lighthearted read that you know you're gonna read quickly. So I ended up going the route of graphic novel because I finally picked up volume 2 of the High Republic Star Wars graphic novels. I'm really looking forward to picking this one up, so that is why I'm going with this one, because it's definitely going to be a quick read. I didn't have it for under 100 because it is like 128 pages, so it didn't fit that prompt, but it fits this one, so I'm excited. Next we are studying astronomy, and for this you have to read a book at the top of your TBR. I don't know why, but this was the prompt I struggled with the most. I don't know if it's because there are so many books that are at the top of my TBR, or if I'm just like panicking to pick one, or what the heck happened, but this one was very hard for me to choose. I ended up going with Awake at Dawn by C.C. Hunter, which is the sequel to Born at Midnight, which was our Fae book for the Lost Books Club. If you're interested in joining the Lost Books Club, the link is down below. The book club is dedicated to reading one Fae themed book and one pirate mermaid sea themed book each month, and then we kind of battle against each other to see if the Fae or pirate book was better each month. April's picks are going to be Rhapsodic and Fable, so I'm very excited for April. But back to Born at Midnight. Born at Midnight I will go further into my thoughts on in the wrap-up, but I was hesitant going into it, but ended up really enjoying it, and my hold for the library ended up being 6 weeks, so I went ahead and bought the book instead, so that I could pick it up as soon as possible. But we are following a young girl who has discovered she has supernatural powers and is sent off to a summer camp to figure out what's going on, essentially. I'm really looking forward to picking up the sequel and finding out what happens next. Next is Conjuration, and for this we needed to pick up a book with a source of light on the cover. This could be a flashlight, the sun, a lamp, the moon, anything that is some source of light, and it counts for this. I ended up going with Daughter of the Moon Goddess. As you can see, there is a very large full moon on the cover here. This is actually almost my prompt for the claws, because there's also a bird on here as well, but I ended up putting it for this one. This is the book club pick for Fire Nation Creations book club in April. It's also a book club for my local book club pick. So this is going to cover a lot of things for me in April, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. It is a retelling inspired by the Mid-Autumn Legend, and that's really all I know about it because I don't like to go into books with a lot of knowledge. I think it's infinitely more enjoyable for me when I don't have expectations going in, so that's kind of where I'm at with this. But look how gorgeous this cover is, honestly. The final class I need to pass is Restoration, which is to read a book featuring healers. For this, I'm going to be picking up Redemptor by Jordan Nefueko. This is the sequel to Raybearer, a book in which a young girl is tasked by her mother to kill the prince, but in order to be able to kill the prince, she has to become part of his chosen council. And in order to do this, you have to love the prince. So it's this like really inner conflict battle story, and it was one of my favorite books of the year so far, so I'm very much looking forward to picking up the sequel. And it does feature at least a healer or two. I know of one for sure. A second one might come about based on some of the things that were happening in the first book, so yeah, that's where I'm at with this one. So those are my prompts for Master of Elements. I'm going to try to do reading vlogs for this readathon, but I also am going to try to complete all of the classes regardless of whether they are part of Master of Elements or not. I just think it would be fun. However, I am going to focus on these ones, and I'll keep you updated on my TBR for the other ones if these ones are completed first, because we got a pile here. But that is my TBR for the Magical Readathon. Let me know what you're going to be reading down below, or if any of these books are on your TBR, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, friends!